Hello, everybody. Welcome to Press Box. This is John Carter, and with us today, we've got Dave Clutts, girls tennis team at St. Clair High, Jordan Pino, Allison Kennedy, and Kate Schunk. Welcome. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
And Dave, kind of their shirts say it all, but another great season for St. Clair girls tennis.
Yeah, the girls really had a fantastic season from start to finish. We got better and better, and it culminated with another state finals.
Oh, that's terrific. Well, let's talk a little about you as a coach. How do you prepare for a tennis match? Or it's not exactly like you don't have plays or practices in the sense of a basketball or football team. What do you do as a coach to help prepare the girls?
Tennis is more or less managing different personalities and trying to put a lineup together where the girls can complement each other. And so it's not like you're drawing up plays like you mentioned and executing things in that fashion. It's just a matter of making sure girls or any player feels confident in what they're doing so they can go out and do what they know how to do.
Mm-hmm. I've always thought that the choice between, say, singles and doubles, and maybe explain the normal format is certain girls play singles and certain girls play doubles. Mm-hmm. How do you as a coach help facilitate that and make the choices about who plays what on your team?
The first thing we do is the obvious, is we ask the girls what they would like to play. Are you more interested in playing singles or doubles? And in some cases, they may not tell you and they may not know. And so you kind of look at their skill set and point them in that direction. But most of the time, the kids know what they would like to play.
Is there a natural progression, or do the girls tend to stay with the same set?
It depends. Every situation is different. I mean, all of these girls up here were doubles players for us this year, but all of them could have played singles. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of what they like to do. And if we have the ability with the depth of players to be able to allow the kids to be in the positions that maybe they're more natural at.
And is there certain things that if you do well, you're more likely to be a good doubles player, for example?
Absolutely. In doubles, they have to have net skills, being able to get close to the net and do in tennis what we call is volleying. And doubles players usually have better net skills. And singles players, maybe a little more mobility and a little more patience.
Okay. Yeah, and in doubles now especially, I know you've got to be very aggressive mm-hmm. and really take over the net.
Absolutely, and that's another thing that we look at is singles players, some of them tend to be a little more passive, and it's just about outlasting your opponents. Mm-hmm. In doubles, you've got to use that aggression and be able to end points.
So you've always kind of played up. Your philosophy has been to play in a tougher league. Mm-hmm. I know in preparation for the tournament, but does that ever have a kind of a negative effect in terms of maybe not winning as much as you'd like to and giving the girls confidence?
It can, and that's one of the things behind the scenes that people don't realize is that scheduling is really important in tennis because it's one of the few sports where what you've done during the season has a major impact on how you are seeded for the state tournament. And so my philosophy has always been, as far as scheduling, is to do a third, and a third. Where a third of the season, you're going to be very challenged. You're going to be playing against the best teams in the state. And maybe you're not going to win a lot of those matches, but at least you're going to see that level. The second third is more like 50-50, where these are winnable matches, but they're still challenging. It's very close competition. Mm-hmm. And then a third of the last third of the season is a little more confidence building to make sure that we're able to execute these things that we want to do and build our own confidence and make us feel good. Okay.
So what were some of the strengths of your team this year?
I think the biggest strengths was our depth. We didn't have a lot of depth last year. We had a lot of new players. And this year we were strong from 1 singles all the way to 4th doubles. And it also allowed people to play in positions that was more suitable for their skills.
Okay. And that usually translates well when you get into tournaments and so on, correct?
Exactly. Yep.
So the other thing, and again, not like a basketball coach that gets involved in the game, I mean, what do you do during matches besides chew your fingernails?
I've watched so many matches that the nerves aren't there anymore. It's just a matter of, in like singles, I do more of the singles coaching, and right. Coach Johnson, basically we let him handle the doubles, which he loves. And in singles, you're looking at your opponents, trying to pick out weaknesses, and then being able to pick on those weaknesses. Doubles is more of a movement, and that's more like a basketball situation where you want to get your players in the right position to be able to end points.
Okay. And we talked about that you coach both the girls and the boys, and it's somewhat a unique situation. There's not those kind of analogs necessarily much in high school sports. So, you know, many years experience, obviously, not going to call you veteran, but many years experience. What are the differences between coaching, say, the girls team and the boys team? What do you do differently?
You know, I always coached boys before I got to St. Clair. I had never coached girls, and it's very different. A lot of people ask me, you know, well, what do you like better, coaching boys or girls? I like them both. There are differences. I mean, boys, you can yell and you know, get in their face a little bit more, and they appreciate that. The girls is more about just managing the personalities and, you know, trying to, you have to give them a little, it's just a little different, but they're different in good ways.
Yeah. I've always said that with the girls, if you give them a play, they're going to run the play.
Yes.
Almost regardless, even if there's a person standing wide open under the basket or whatever the case may be. Boys, it's almost like you got to beat them to show that you're good enough to be their coach.
In some cases, yeah. Yep. I mean, they're definitely, the boys, you've got to be able to demonstrate to them for them to buy in. And the girls listen and follow it to the T.
So how about as chief psychologist in charge? Is that part of the role as well?
In tennis, that's probably the biggest thing. I mean, it really is. You have to be able to talk to them so they feel confident in what they're doing. And that's both boys and girls.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's an individual sport. No one's helping you hit the shots. It's confidence and being able to visualize.
And every kid is different.
Yeah.
Every kid has a different personality.
Yeah, that's good. So girls, let's talk a little bit about you. Kate, how did you start playing tennis? How old were you?
I was around the age of 6 when I first started playing, and I continued playing for a few years, and then I quit, and then I began playing again my sophomore year of high school.
So what got you back into it?
I just wanted to play another sport because I played volleyball, and I wanted to be on a team with my sister.
Okay, that's always a good reason. How about you, Allison? How did you start?
I started when I was in 2nd grade, and I continued playing USTA tournaments, and I continued to play and just kept building my game, I was preparing for high school tennis. That was my main goal.
Was it really? Okay, that's kind of neat. Now, did you have someone that you kind of looked up to on the team when you were younger?
Not really. I just was always be able to play with coach. Like he would coach me on like one-on-one, and so that helped a lot. Like made me excited to play on the team for him.
Jordan, how about you? What was your start with tennis?
I started in 7th grade, and I started because my younger brother started, and so I followed him.
Can you beat him?
No.
Could you beat him then?
No, probably not.
So let's talk about, you mentioned that you play in tournaments and as individuals. What's the difference between playing on a team and playing in tournament tennis as an individual? Allison, what about you?
I like playing on a team better. Like the team atmosphere is so great with us, and having Jordan as my partner, like to have someone on the court with you, like to keep you level-headed and stuff. Like that's better than playing by yourself and where you could just lose your mind.
How about you, Kate? Did you play a lot of tournaments when you were younger?
Yeah, I have, and I think that the biggest difference is just having a team there, cheering you on, and everything is really important. Whether you're playing singles or doubles, you have those teammates there to support you.
Okay, Jordan. So, Allison, she's sitting right next to you. But are there? I would expect as a team, as a doubles team, and especially communications extremely important. How do you guys do that on the court? What do you use? Hand signals? Do you have keywords? What do you do?
We just talk to each other, keep each other positive.
So you don't ever say, "How did you miss that shot?" It was right in front of you.
No, we don't make each other feel bad for our shots. We just shake it off.
Really? Okay. What about you? I know you were playing with a younger player. How is that different than, say, playing two seniors like Allison and Jordan? How did you help the younger player with the doubles team?
It's different. It's different because the younger players don't have as much experience, so you kind of have to be patient with them and not get angry at certain things.
Okay. Now, you've all played a long time, so and you're all graduating seniors, by the way. Congratulations, and good luck on your colleges. I know you're all going to school next year. But, Jordan, what's kind of the stuff that you've learned from starting, say, as a freshman in the program to now where you're a graduating senior, kind of looking back on those 4 years? What's some of the things that really stick with you in terms of the way you've learned and grown?
I've learned to work with the team better and just to stay positive, even though things might get difficult. You just got to stay positive through it all.
So let's say you're down, you lose the first set 6-love. What do you do in that second set? How do you get yourself going again?
It's helpful to have like Allie with me as my partner, just to keep my, just to stay positive, and yeah.
Well, they say, Allison, sometimes that the best team is kind of like two opposites almost, complementary. Is that the case with you and Jordan, or are you both very similar in how you approach the game?
I think I'm more aggressive than Jordan is, but that works. It works for us, and I'm left-handed and she's right-handed, so that
even better.
that complemented us well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how about you, Kate? You were also a doubles player. How is your partner and yourself complementary on the court?
My partner is actually like more aggressive, like at the baseline, I think, and I'm more steady. So it's like good to have someone who will like take risks, but someone who will also like be steady at the baseline. And,
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you get excited? Is there someone who's more low key on your team versus excitable?
I'm pretty excitable about things.
How about you two?
I get pretty excited, but Jordan stays pretty level.
So let's talk a little bit about your roles as seniors. And you mentioned how you helped some of your freshmen. What else do you do with the younger players to kind of get them involved and getting them acclimated to the team? Go ahead, Kate.
Well, we've just tried to include everyone in everything we do. Like, we have a lot of like inside jokes and stuff, and we try to like include everyone. And
Are they tellable on TV or?
it's not really. I don't know. Yeah, we just try to like. I don't want to be like the senior who is like stuck up or anything. Like, we just try to, act like we're all the same age. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. How about you guys? What'd you guys do with some of the younger players?
Well, you have to let them know that being on a team is different than playing by yourself. Like, it is important, and then so to include them as part of the team, so they know that they're playing for something bigger than just themselves.
What has the streak meant to you? I mean, you got it on your shirts, 25 years. Did it ever make you worried or nervous?
Not really. No, we don't. Like, we play, like, we're excited to play regionals. Like, that's our biggest tournament of the season. And so we don't really think about it till we get to that point, and then we just play our game.
Okay, all right. So who is your biggest rival? Who is someone you've played against for a long time, you know them, and it's always good to beat?
Definitely Northern. They're my biggest rival. I always want to beat them, no matter what.
And they've been a very good program for a number of years also. So what about you guys? Is it Northern also, one of the Grosse Pointe schools? Or?
Northern.
Yeah. So it's more satisfaction, coach, to beat.
And all the kids know each other between
Oh,
six.
sure.
They all play out of the tennis house, and that we take that match very seriously.
Yeah, yeah. How do you make it fun? I mean, I would expect you probably have some practices where it's about 32 degrees and maybe a little bit of snow or sleet. How do you keep it fun at that level?
We just try to make the best of it. Like, we all complain a lot, but but we try to be positive, I guess.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I was going to say, as a coach, on what the weather is like, what you're going to get out of the kids each day. I mean,
Sure.
sometimes you go out there and it's 35 degrees and 30-mile-an-hour winds, and it's like, we're not going to get much out of them today. But when we have good weather, we do the best we can.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you have any superstitions as a team? Anything that you guys do, kind of a tradition?
Well, we always like get in a huddle before matches and like give like a speech to everyone, and
Who does that?
us as captains we do. Other than that, we don't really have any other.
So tell me, what was one of the better speeches?
At the end of, I always closed all the speeches by saying, "We're just here to play some tennis," and so like it calms the girls down. Like,
Sure.
we're just here to have fun, just play.
Yeah,
Like, there's
'cause
no pressure. Like, you don't want them to feel the pressure.
I'm normally the one who's like, we have to win, let's go. And then Allie's like, we're just here to play tennis.
Well, and it's a fine line, right? I mean, again, it's an individual sport, and you have to be able to play individually, but at the same time, you do want to get excited as a
Yeah.
team, as you mentioned, cheer people on. That's good. So I've always asked this of the players when we're here with a coach. Is there a way you can tell if coach is upset or nervous? Does he have any mannerisms, or does he say anything to kind of give you a clue?
I mean,
You're a senior. You're graduating. You can say anything you want at this point.
you definitely know when he's upset, but I don't know about nervous. He doesn't really seem nervous ever.
Okay.
I think last year the coaches seemed a little bit more nervous all the time because of, like, it was like a building year for us, so like
Okay.
they were more nervous about us making it to states and everything. But this year was like a lot more calm.
Okay. Jordan, how about you? Do you see? Can you tell when coach is upset?
Yeah, you can definitely tell, but there's not really a mannerism or anything.
Okay. It's
It's just in his tone of his voice, I guess.
good. Well, listen. Thanks for talking to us. So Dave, let's talk a little bit about the states and maybe go through the format, because it's different than a lot of sports the way it's set up.
Right. There's no districts, and basically what happens is we play our league season and we play our dual matches and tournaments over the course of the season, and the purpose of that really is for our players to get seeded. So when we get to the regional tournament, which had 11 teams this year, you want to make sure the best teams in the regional are separated. They don't have to play each other right away. And so as you play through the regional, the people who lose are out, and then you'll get towards the better competition. And this year we won 6 of the 8 flights at the regional.
Wow.
We had 30, how many points did we have? 31 this year, 32? And then the next closest team I think had 15. So the first place team that wins the regional automatically qualifies for the state finals, and then the second place team will also qualify.
Okay.
And so we won it for the 6th year in a row. And when we get to the state finals, then we have a seeding meeting for all the teams that qualified, trying to make sure that...
And maybe explain seeding for people
Seeding
who don't.
is just basically placing the top players in certain parts of the draw so they don't face each other early on in the tournament.
Sure.
And we had 3 flights that were seeded at the state level, which is fantastic, because you only have, out of 22 teams, you only have 6 players or 6 doubles teams that are actually seeded. And we had 6 flights make it to the quarterfinals, and then our 1 doubles team with Allie and Jordan making it to the semifinals.
That's terrific.
Yes.
So we were talking with the girls earlier. Do you know we finished in terms of where the public schools finished in your class?
And that was really exciting for us, because we finished 5th in the state, but we were the top finishing public school in our division. So that's certainly something to be proud of.
I agree, because it's difficult playing some of the schools that frankly have a lot more resources.
Yes.
and a lot more access to players. So
I mean, what we can say and proud to say is every kid on our team has the same zip code.
yes, yes. Yeah, that's terrific. So tell me a little bit about maybe Jordan and Allison's matches. How do they get through into the semifinals?
Well, what they were kind of talking to earlier, that Jordan has a strength from the baseline. Allie's a little more aggressive at the net. Their game really complements each other, and over the course of the season, being new partners this year, they got better and better and more comfortable with each other. And in the state tournament, their second round match, they had to play the 4 seed, right, which was Allegan, and Allegan was actually seeded ahead of us, and they dominated. It wasn't even close. It was like 6-2, 6-2,
Wow.
and this was a team that was projected to do better than we did. And in the next round, in the semis, we ran into Country Day, which was the #1 seed at 1 doubles, and gave them a battle. I was talking to their coach while we were playing, and she thought we were way underseeded, and she thought that was the toughest match that they had to play.
Oh, that's terrific. So tell me about the match. Let's say against Allegan. What did you guys think you did well that match?
We definitely put the ball away at the net.
Okay.
Really well. So Jordan could set me up she was at the baseline, hit a good shot, and I knew the ball was going to be right where I wanted it to be at the net, and I could put it away.
Okay. Yeah. And why? What was the strength of the other team? Why were they seeded so highly, do you think?
Just that they had played together for a while,
Okay.
and they were very consistent, and they didn't miss very many shots.
Yeah.
And
So-
one of the things with Allegan is they always bring such a huge contingent to the state final, and their crowd for a tennis match can be pretty rowdy. And I think it was maybe like 2-2 in the first set, and they were starting to get
Right.
going, and I don't think they won another game. They had nothing to cheer about. I mean, these two just shut them down, and the crowd was out of it. So it was kind of cool.
So Jordan, what was it like though playing Country Day? You mentioned they won the whole tournament later on, but I mean, did you feel like you had a chance there at some point?
Yeah, for sure. We were up 4-2 in the first set,
Okay.
so we were definitely there. It was a close match.
What happened?
They just started making less mistakes.
I see.
So.
Yeah. Well, that's great though. Terrific. Now you made to the quarters. Tell us a little about a couple of your matches.
My first match was pretty easy. Like we got through that, and then I played Cranbrook, and it was close. I think the score was 3-4.
3-4.
3-4. And so the second set, at one point we were up 4-3, and we just couldn't close it out. Like they're really good players, both of them, and yeah, I mean, it was still a close match. I've always had close matches with Cranbrook every year. Yeah.
I mean, even though we came out on the short end, these matches were so close. I mean, they could have gone either way.
Yeah.
That's we were really proud of how well they played.
So I asked the girls before we started that about next year. Now that they're not going to be here any longer, and they said, "Oh, no problem." So what do you think of next year's team, Coach?
Always thinking about it in my mind, just thinking about partnerships, lineups, how we're going to do it. Trying to get the kids involved in lessons, and just seeing who we're getting in, and all of that. Just starting to think about that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So and just as it kind of closing out here, the legacy of St. Clair girls tennis has been terrific. I saw you had your team dinner. I think it was a couple days ago with Coach Stavlin. Tell us a little bit about that whole thing as well.
Well, when I first came here in 1996, I met Ron the very first day, and he and I chatted a little bit, and he asked me if I wanted to help coach him, that year to help him out. And I think he was more feeling me out, whether it's like, am I going to turn the program over to this guy? And we really hit it off. He has built such a program here, and people move into St. Clair to play tennis, and that makes me very proud. And I mean, he did so much in developing it. He took his first girls team halfway across the state just so his girls, he found a team that was worse than his, and just to give him a taste of victory. And that tells you his dedication for what the sport means to him.
That's terrific. Well, listen, congratulations on another terrific season, 25 straight years, state finals. That's got to be some sort of record, I would think.
I don't know. I hope so.
School's record, like for the most years going to states for any
That's
team.
terrific. Well, you guys, terrific year for you girls. Again, congratulations. Good luck next year. And Coach,
Hey, thanks, John.
thanks again.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, everybody, just enjoy talking here with the girls tennis team, Coach Dave Clutts on Press Box. This is John Carter saying good night, and we'll see you again next week.